All right, we have a logarithmic equation with two separate logarithms. So, as you may know, in order to solve for this, because our variable is inside the logarithm, actually two different logarithms, we need to be able to convert from logarithmic to exponential form. But in order to do that, we need to have a single logarithm, or at least a single variable inside of one logarithm. But we have two separate logarithms. But we know some properties that allows us to deal with something like this. There's the property where we have the addition of logarithms with the same base, where we can combine this into a single logarithm by multiplying what's inside each logarithm. So it looks something like this. Log of x plus log of y equals log of x times y. Okay, so applying that property, we could obtain log of x times x plus 2, all inside that logarithm. And then that's equal to 3. Okay, so in order to solve this, we would want to, well, we can go ahead and simplify inside the logarithm first. Let's do that first. X times x is x squared. X times 2 plus 2x is equal to 3. And then we are now ready to convert this into exponential form. So that is 10 to the third power equals x squared plus 2x. Now we can solve, at this point it becomes a somewhat straightforward solving a quadratic equation. And we will be using the quadratic formula, but let's put it in the standard form. So we would have x squared, well, let's, don't want to jump too much here. So 10 to the third power is 1,000. So we would have 0 equals x squared plus 2x minus 1,000, because we want to get that 10 to the third on the other side. Okay, and now we are ready to use the quadratic formula. Again, the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that would give us x equals negative 2 plus or minus 2 squared. Oh, sorry. Accidentally drew plus here. That should be a minus. Minus 4ac. So that's minus 4. A is 1. C is negative 1,000. All over 2 times 1. Okay, let's simplify this. X equals negative 2 plus or minus. Now, 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 1,000. That would be the 4 times 1 times negative 1,000 is negative 4,000, but we're subtracting that, so that's plus 4,000. And 2 squared is 4, so that ends up being 4 plus 4,000, or 4,004. All right, we're going to need a calculator to be able to handle this. And we're going to divide this by 2 times 1 is 2. So we can go ahead and simplify this, but before we get into that, you should notice that when we subtract the square root of 4,004, that's going to give us a negative solution. And that is an issue. If you look at our original equation, notice we have log of x plus log of x plus 2. So you should know that you can't take the log of a negative number. So only the positive solution will be a solution. So we can pretty much ignore the negative and just do the plus. Or don't do the minus the square root, because that's going to be massively negative. Okay, so we have negative 2 plus the square root of 4004 over 2. Let's do that. So we have negative 2 plus the square root of 4004. Okay, and then we're going to divide that by 2. You can do that in a separate step if you want. Negative 2, and that is, oh, sorry, I just did that. 61.277 will do. And then we're going to divide that by 2, and that gives us, and divide that by 2, 30.639 approximately. There we go. And it's always a good idea. We did some math here, and you may not trust every little step we've done. So what we can do is we can check our work. So I'm going to do that right down here. So let's go ahead and do that. Doesn't hurt to do that for any equation you solve. So we're going to do log of 30.639. Notice that I've rounded this, so it may not equal exactly 3 after we're done, but all right, there's the left side of the equation. Is it going to equal 3? Log of 30.639, close parentheses, plus log of 30.639 plus 2. Oh, sorry. Plus 2. So that should be approximately 3. Due to rounding error, it's not exactly 3 again. And good. That is approximately 3. Good. We've checked our solution, and we should feel confident in our solution. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help.